What if I told you that millions of Americans may still be missing money that legally belongs to them, and some of them have no idea it exists? Imagine working your entire life, paying taxes, planning for retirement, and then discovering that a government rule quietly reduced your Social Security benefits for decades. Even more surprising, imagine learning that those rules have now been eliminated. Billions of dollars are being returned, and thousands of eligible people still haven't received everything they are owed. The truth is that one of the most significant Social Security changes in recent history has already taken effect, but many retirees, public employees, widows, and widowers still don't understand how it could affect their benefits. Some people may be entitled to larger monthly payments. Others could qualify for substantial retroactive compensation. Yet countless Americans remain unaware of what has changed or what steps they should take next. For decades, certain Social Security provisions affected workers who spent part of their careers in jobs covered by government pension systems rather than traditional Social Security payroll taxes. These individuals often believed they would receive the full benefits they had earned through their Social Security-covered employment. Instead, many discovered that special formulas reduced the amount they ultimately received during retirement. The first provision affected people who worked in jobs that provided separate government pensions while also spending time in other positions that paid into Social Security. On the surface, everything appeared normal. These workers paid Social Security taxes during part of their careers and expected benefits based on those contributions. However, when retirement arrived, many learned that a special calculation reduced their Social Security payments. The reduction often surprised retirees because it was not something they had anticipated throughout most of their working lives. They planned their retirement budgets based on expected benefits, only to discover that the actual amount would be lower. For some households, the difference represented a significant loss of monthly income. The second provision affected spouses, widows, and widowers. These individuals expected to receive benefits based on a husband's or wife's earnings record, particularly after years of marriage and decades of Social Security contributions made by their spouse. Yet for many families, those expected benefits were reduced or even eliminated because the surviving spouse also received a government pension. This situation created tremendous frustration. Many widows and widowers believed survivor benefits existed to provide financial protection after losing a spouse. Instead, they discovered that other retirement income sources could drastically reduce those benefits. In some cases, survivor payments disappeared entirely. The consequences extended far beyond simple accounting adjustments. Retirement budgets were affected. Long-term financial plans changed. Some households faced greater financial pressure than expected because they received less income than they had anticipated. Over time, criticism of these provisions grew. Public employees, retiree organizations, advocacy groups, and lawmakers repeatedly argued that the rules treated certain workers unfairly. Teachers, firefighters, police officers, government employees, and many surviving spouses became especially vocal about the issue. Year after year, proposals were introduced seeking to change or eliminate the provisions. Supporters argued that people who earned Social Security benefits through years of contributions should receive those benefits without facing special reductions. Despite repeated efforts, however, reform remained elusive. For decades, millions of affected Americans continued receiving reduced benefits. Some retirees accepted the situation because they believed nothing would ever change. Others remained unaware of the complex formulas responsible for the reductions. The issue became one of the most frequently discussed concerns among many public sector retirees. Then, a major change finally arrived. A new law eliminated the provisions that had reduced or eliminated benefits for millions of Americans. The reform represented one of the most significant Social Security changes in recent years and immediately attracted attention from retirees across the country. For many people, the most important aspect of the legislation was not simply the future benefit increases. The law also created opportunities for retroactive payments covering prior periods. In other words, eligible beneficiaries might receive compensation for benefits that should have been higher earlier. This possibility generated enormous interest among retirees and surviving spouses. Rising costs have placed increasing pressure on household budgets. Housing expenses, healthcare costs, utilities, groceries, and transportation have all become more expensive. Additional benefit income could provide meaningful financial relief. However, an important challenge remains. Updating millions of records is a massive administrative task. Large government systems cannot instantly recalculate every account overnight. Processing requires time, resources, and extensive review. As a result, not every eligible person has received updated benefits at the same pace. Some beneficiaries noticed increases quickly. Others received retroactive payments. Still others continue waiting for adjustments that have not yet appeared. This variation creates uncertainty. People often hear about benefit increases and assume that everyone affected has already received them. In reality, implementation timelines can vary significantly depending on individual circumstances. Every Social Security record is unique. Work history, retirement dates, pension participation, survivor benefits, and earnings records all influence how adjustments are processed. Some cases are straightforward. Others require more detailed review. Because of this complexity, awareness has become critical. Individuals who may qualify for adjustments should understand that waiting passively is not always the best approach. Reviewing records and staying informed can help ensure that no available benefits are overlooked. Several groups should pay particular attention to these developments. Public school employees are among the most commonly affected. Many teachers spent years participating in pension systems while also earning Social Security credits through other employment. Depending on individual circumstances, benefit calculations may change significantly. Firefighters and law enforcement personnel may also be affected. These professions often operate under retirement systems that interact differently with Social Security. Individuals who worked both inside and outside those systems should carefully review their records. State and local government employees represent another important group. Many spent portions of their careers contributing to pension systems while also accumulating Social Security-covered earnings elsewhere. These mixed employment histories often create situations where benefit adjustments become relevant. Certain federal employees may also fall within affected categories. Retirement structures have changed over time, meaning eligibility depends on specific employment histories and retirement systems. Perhaps the most important group includes widows and widowers, whose survivor benefits were reduced or eliminated under previous rules. For many surviving spouses, Social Security benefits represent a critical source of retirement income. Changes restoring or increasing those benefits can have a substantial impact on financial stability. One reason awareness remains so important is that misinformation spreads quickly whenever major Social Security changes occur. Some reports exaggerate potential payments. Others imply that every retiree will receive large sums of money. Neither assumption is accurate. The reality is more nuanced. Outcomes depend on individual circumstances. Some people may qualify for substantial retroactive payments and larger monthly benefits. Others may experience smaller adjustments. Eligibility varies based on work history, pension participation, survivor status, and several other factors. This is why understanding personal records matters more than relying on general claims. Reviewing benefit information provides a clearer picture than speculation or rumors. Another important consideration involves timing. Many retirees expect immediate results following legislative changes. While that expectation is understandable, large-scale benefit corrections often require extended implementation periods. Administrative agencies must verify records, recalculate benefits, update systems, and process payments accurately. Mistakes can create additional complications, so accuracy remains a priority. For retirees living on fixed incomes, however, waiting can be frustrating. Every month matters when managing housing costs, healthcare expenses, insurance premiums, and everyday necessities. This reality explains why so many people continue monitoring developments closely. The good news is that meaningful progress is occurring. Benefit corrections are being processed, retroactive payments are being issued, and millions of Americans are beginning to see the effects of long-awaited reforms. Still, understanding the process remains essential. Awareness, information, and proactive review can make a significant difference. The people who benefit most from major policy changes are often those who stay informed and verify how those changes apply to their own situations. And this is only part of the story. In Part 2, we'll discuss the specific actions beneficiaries can take to verify whether adjustments have been applied, the most common mistakes retirees make when reviewing benefit records, why surviving spouses face unique considerations, and the practical steps that can help ensure eligible benefits do not remain overlooked. Now comes the question that matters most. How do you know whether any of these changes actually affect you? This is where many retirees make a critical mistake. They assume that if money is owed to them, it will automatically arrive without any action on their part. While benefit corrections are being processed, large administrative systems do not always move at the same speed for every case. Some accounts are updated quickly, others require additional review, and some individuals continue receiving outdated benefit amounts simply because their records have not yet completed the correction process. The reality is that millions of Social Security records are different. No two work histories are exactly alike. Some people spent their entire careers in jobs covered by Social Security. Others worked in public service positions that relied on separate pension systems. Many retirees moved between different types of employment throughout their lives. These differences affect how benefits are calculated and how corrections are applied. Because every situation is unique, assumptions can be expensive. Someone may hear that benefits have increased and assume they are not affected. Another person may believe a correction has already been applied when it has not. This uncertainty is one reason why reviewing personal benefit information has become more important than ever. One of the simplest, yet most overlooked steps is periodically reviewing Social Security records. Many retirees check their accounts only when they first apply for benefits. After that, years may pass without another review. Monthly payments arrive, bills get paid, and life continues. But major legislative changes create situations where a fresh look at benefit records can be extremely valuable. Benefit statements contain important information regarding monthly payments, earnings history, and benefit calculations. Reviewing these records can help identify whether adjustments have already been made or whether additional questions may need to be asked. Another common issue involves outdated personal information. Address changes, banking updates, marital status changes, and contact information can all affect communication. Even small inaccuracies can sometimes delay notices or create confusion regarding benefit processing. This is particularly important because many beneficiaries expect official notifications to explain every change in detail. While agencies provide communications whenever possible, relying entirely on letters or notices may not always be the best strategy. Staying proactive remains one of the most effective ways to remain informed. Surviving spouses face especially important considerations. For widows and widowers, survivor benefits often represent a major source of retirement income. Any change affecting those benefits can significantly influence financial security. Many surviving spouses spent years receiving reduced benefits under previous rules. Others were denied certain benefits entirely and eventually accepted that outcome as permanent. However, legal changes can alter situations that once appeared settled. This is why survivors should avoid assuming that old decisions automatically remain unchanged forever. Circumstances evolve, laws change, eligibility requirements are updated. A case that seemed closed years ago may deserve a second look under newer rules. The importance of documentation cannot be overstated. Keeping records organized makes it easier to resolve questions if they arise. Benefit statements, pension documents, tax records, retirement paperwork, and correspondence should be stored in a place where they can be accessed easily when needed. Many people underestimate how valuable organized records can be until they face a complicated benefits question. What seems like routine paperwork today can save hours of frustration later. Patience is another important factor. Whenever major legislation affects millions of beneficiaries, implementation takes time. Government agencies must review records, update systems, verify calculations, and process adjustments accurately. These tasks cannot be completed overnight. As a result, some individuals may receive corrections sooner than others. Delays do not necessarily indicate a problem. They often reflect the reality of processing large volumes of information while maintaining accuracy. That said, patience should never be confused with inattention. Beneficiaries should continue monitoring their records and paying attention to official communications. Staying informed helps ensure that important developments are not overlooked. Financially, even modest increases can have a meaningful impact. Many retirees live on fixed incomes and carefully manage monthly budgets. Additional benefit income can help cover groceries, prescription medications, utility bills, transportation costs, insurance premiums, and other essential expenses. Consider the cumulative effect of a monthly increase. An adjustment that seems relatively small at first can add up to thousands of dollars over time. Over several years, the impact may become substantial. Healthcare costs remain one of the largest concerns for retirees nationwide. Insurance premiums, medical appointments, prescription drugs, and treatment expenses can consume a significant portion of retirement income. Additional benefits may provide greater flexibility when managing these costs. Housing expenses create similar challenges. Property taxes, homeowners insurance, maintenance costs, repairs, rent, and utilities continue regardless of age. Reliable income plays a critical role in maintaining housing stability throughout retirement. Inflation has further increased financial pressure. Everyday necessities cost more than they did only a few years ago. This makes maximizing available benefits increasingly important for retirees trying to preserve purchasing power. Another lesson retirees can learn from recent changes is that retirement planning does not end when benefits begin. Many people spend years preparing for retirement and then stop paying attention once monthly payments start arriving. However, benefit systems continue evolving. New legislation, administrative updates, cost of living adjustments, and policy changes occur regularly. Staying informed helps retirees understand opportunities and avoid missing important developments. Unfortunately, misinformation often spreads faster than accurate information. Major Social Security announcements frequently generate headlines, social media discussions, and online speculation. Some claims exaggerate benefit amounts, others create unrealistic expectations. The safest approach is always verification. Understanding personal circumstances matters far more than relying on generalized claims. What applies to one retiree may not apply to another. Family members can play an important role in this process. Adult children, caregivers, relatives, and trusted friends often help retirees navigate paperwork and benefit questions. Sharing accurate information can help ensure that eligible individuals receive the benefits they have earned. Many retirees are not actively searching for updates online. They may never hear about important changes unless someone shares information with them directly. A simple conversation can sometimes lead to meaningful financial improvements. Community awareness also matters. Retirees often learn valuable information through local organizations, support groups, retirement associations, and community events. Staying connected can help individuals discover opportunities they might otherwise miss. The broader significance of these reforms goes beyond monthly benefit amounts. For many people, the changes represent recognition that long-standing concerns were finally addressed. Workers who spent decades affected by complex benefit reductions now have an opportunity to see meaningful corrections. For surviving spouses, restored benefits may provide greater confidence about long-term financial stability. For public employees, updated calculations may better reflect years of service and contributions across different employment systems. Most importantly, these developments demonstrate that benefit programs can change. Rules that existed for decades are not necessarily permanent. Staying informed helps retirees adapt when opportunities arise. The key message is simple: never assume your benefits are automatically perfect just because you are already receiving payments. Periodic reviews, accurate information, organized records, and attention to official communications remain valuable tools for protecting financial security. Millions of Americans spent years receiving reduced benefits because of rules they neither created nor fully understood. Today, many of those reductions are being corrected. Larger monthly payments, retroactive compensation, and updated calculations are already improving financial outcomes for countless retirees and surviving spouses. Whether the adjustment is large or small, understanding your benefits remains essential. Knowledge empowers people to ask better questions, make informed decisions, and ensure they receive everything they have earned. As retirement costs continue rising and financial security becomes increasingly important, staying informed may be one of the most valuable investments a retiree can make. The people who benefit most are often those who remain engaged, review their records, verify information, and take action when necessary. And when it comes to Social Security, every dollar matters. Understanding your rights today could help strengthen your financial future for years to come. Social Security Decoded.